Hello students, welcome to online classes of Geography of class 9. Today I am going to start the new chapter, that is chapter number 3, Drainage. And this is the first class of the chapter. The topic that I am going to discuss, there are some keywords related to this chapter, and secondly, drainage pattern. So now quickly just go with the keywords. Now the first keyword related to this chapter, number 1, what is actually drainage? Drainage has been derived from the word drain, which means to flow. That means the draining away of the water in different areas by the river system. So that is termed as drainage. Now next, what is a river system then? It is interconnected river network in an area comprising main river, and there are smaller streams. Either they join or they leave apart. Means they branch it out from that main river. We term it as a tributary and distributary. That is river system. Next, what is drainage basin? It is a large geographical area drained by a river system. And just now we discussed what is a river system. It is a large network. So when a large area by a river system is being drained out, that is termed as drainage basin. Next, water divide. Now, in a previous chapter, we have studied about two ghats. One is Western Ghat, another one is Eastern Ghat. And already we discussed about the features that Western Ghats are comparatively higher elevated than the Eastern Ghats. Now Western Ghats give origin to many rivers, and Eastern Ghats, they are comparatively less elevated, so their rivers are not having their origin, or there are very few rivers that basically streamed out from there. But normally the Western Ghat divides the peninsular rivers into two directions. One set that is originating from the central highland move towards Arabian Sea, and the another set that originates from Western Ghat move towards Bay of Bengal. So the elevated land or the higher ground that separates the two adjoining basin. Now here the two adjoining basin is, one is west flowing peninsular river and another one is east flowing peninsular river. So the west flowing and the east flowing peninsular river is demarcated by a higher elevated land in a two opposite direction. So this high elevated land is termed as water divide. Next, tributary, a smaller river or a stream that joins the main river. Distributary, the channel of the main river that branches off from the main river. Next, it is related to other keywords, that is delta. We have studied in the previous chapter also. It is a triangular or a fan-like structure that is basically formed by the excessive deposition done by the river near the mouth, that is delta. Next, estuary. It is a funnel-shaped, deep, narrow, submerged mouth of a river valley. And this is not a low-level land, and the area is totally devoid of any sort of sediment because it is an elevated area, and that forms a long arm of the sea. That means a narrow channel, or that meets the river meets with the sea in a form of that narrow channel. That is termed as estuary. Next, riverine island. We have studied about this riverine island too in the northern plains. A river island or a riverine island is an exposed land surrounded by river water. That means the sediment deposited by the river, but it is entirely enclosed by that river water. Gives an appearance of an island, so it is termed as riverine island. Next, braided channel. Now, what is a braided channel? When riverine islands are formed, what is the resultant? A river gets lots of barrier on its way. because of those sediments that is being deposited and giving a structure of an island. So what is the resultant? The river splits up into numerous channels, into smaller channels, or divides into smaller channels by temporary islands called eyots. Eyots means the demarcation, the breakup part. Channels. Braided channels tend to form in the rivers that have significant amount of sedimentary load, where the sediments are maximum, where the sediments are very loose, and comparatively it is having a elevated area, a profile is steep, and that is the place where all the entire main river deposits the sediments, and the main river splits up into numerous channels. So when this type of feature is present in a river, that river is termed as giving a feature of braided channel. Now next keyword is related to the diagrams. Under the keywords that I have discussed, some of the diagrams that I have already explained. Let's see. Here you can see the tributary and the distributary. You can see the tributary and the distributary. Next, you can see this is a, what is this? It is a riverine island. You can see it is a group of, it is a stretch of sediment and it is being surrounded by the river water. So it is riverine island. And just see the braided channel. See these small, these are riverine island. And as a result, the river is being divided into small channels. From here they are moving it out. So this entire feature is termed as braided channel. This is a picture of delta. This is the main stream. It is coming, and due to excessive sedimentation, it is being demarcated, or it is being diverted, distributed, separated in different numerous channels. This sedimentation gives just like a triangular structure, and this zone is termed as delta. Now just next see the next picture. Just see the next picture. It is related to the estuary. Now you can see it is a long arm-like structure that is moving towards the sea. And this long arm-like structure is having a funnel shape. This is a mouth of a funnel and this is the bottom of that funnel. So the main river comes over here, and because you can see it is a steep land, here the streams are very short and they are not getting a space to do the sedimentation. So this feature is termed as estuary. Now just see the river basin. Rivers are originating from a high elevated land, then they gradually come to the foothills, then they move to the plain area, and this is the place by where they meet. So this entire area along with its tributary and the main river, the area that they cover or drain out is termed as river basin or drainage basin. Next, this is an elevated zone where the two adjoining river systems are bifurcated into two different directions. Section A this side, section B this side. So this elevated zone is termed as water divide. And this is again just a repetition of the braided channel. So these are some of the pictures related to the keywords that I have just now discussed. Next comes about the drainage patterns. Now the drainage patterns, what are the factors? Like everywhere, the drainage patterns are not same. Somewhere it is showing a different structure, somewhere it is different structure, or they follow or flow in a different pattern. So what are the reason behind this variation? Number one, the slope of the land. Everywhere the slope of the land or the topography or the altitude is not the same. Number two, the underlying rock structure. The underlying rock structure or lying rock structure is basically what type of rock structure it is. Is it an igneous in structure? It is a sedimentary in structure, or it is a that is metamorphic in structure. If it is igneous in structure, the rivers will not get so much of easiest way to erode it out. If it is a sedimentary tract, then it will be easily eroded Metamorphic, as it is a transition, it can be easily eroded, or it can have a it can be a difficult part to erode by a river water. So it basically shows or indicates about the underlying rock structure. And lastly, the climatic condition. The more the wetty condition, the volume of the water will be more, and obviously the pattern will be different. And if the arid climatic condition, the volume of the water will be less, and as a result the pattern will vary. Now just see some of the drainage patterns. Now let me just define what is a drainage pattern. It refers to the arrangement of the rivers and its tributaries within a drainage basin. Now, this arrangement is totally a natural one. It is not done by the human efforts. It's a natural one where they are getting a break of slope. The tributaries are able to come and meet the main river, and then they give a structure to it. So, in this basis, the way they drain out the river or drain out an area, it is termed as drainage pattern. Now the first drainage pattern is dendritic drainage pattern. Now the word dendritic has been derived from the Greek word dendron. Dendron means branches. So if you just get a picture of a tree in your mind, that a main trunk is there and then the branches are there. Similarly, when a main river get adjoining parts of the tributaries making a branch like structure like a tree, it resembles a dendritic pattern. Now this dendritic pattern is flow according to the slope. Where there is a break of slope, the rivers are able to come and join the main stream just like a branch. Now the rock structure have uniform hardness. In this type, they are uniform hardness, and when it is a uniform hardness, then that means due to the altitudinal variation, the tributaries are joining the main stream. Now the tributaries meet the main river like a branch of tree, and the best example that we can see following this pattern is river Ganga along with its tributaries. Now the next drainage pattern is that is trellis drainage pattern. Now basically we can see in the plateau or in the that is central highland areas where the hard and soft rocks exist parallel to each other. Now, if there is a hard rock, the rivers will be unable to join. But if there is a soft rock, then rivers will erode that part and it will be able to join with the main stream. So, it develops where there is a hard and a soft rocks existing parallelly. Next, short steep tributaries. Here, steep means very fast. Short steep tributaries meet long and parallel main tributaries as if they make a right angle. That means perpendicular to the main stream. In short, we can say the tributaries meet with the main stream almost in a form of a perpendicular structure. River Narmada exhibits the best example of this type of drainage pattern. Now the next is rectangular pattern. Now rectangular pattern means basically the drainage pattern. It's just outcome of that trellis pattern. A drainage pattern in which the main stream and its tributaries resembles as if they have made a right angle. Similarly, they have made a right angle. So it comes from the trellis only. Next, what is it? They exhibit a section approximately of the same length. Right angle means obviously whether it is on the right hand side of the mainstream, whether it is on the left hand side of the mainstream, they exhibit the same length as if they meet the mainstream equally at a approximate same length. Next, it is an indicative of the stream showing prominent fault or joints. Now, near the plateaus or over the plateau areas, the joints are there, the cracks are there, the faults are there. So where there is a fault, where there is a jointed structures of the rock, over there this type of pattern is very much common. And lastly, those rivers, when they meet with the main stream at a right angle, when they are eroding it in between the rock that lies, it just gives a rectangular blocks. So due to that rectangular blocks that developed due to the meeting of the main river with the meeting with of the streams with the main river at a right angle and giving a feature of the rectangular structure, that is why that pattern is termed as rectangular pattern. So trellis and rectangular pattern are the just the cause and the consequence of the two patterns. Now the fourth one is radial pattern. Fourth one is radial pattern. Now what is a radial pattern? A drainage. Now suppose there is a hill. I'm not talking about the that is mountain peaks. I'm talking about the hill. Now hill means it is not glaciated one. If there is a hill and due to that elevation or due to that underground or precipitated water, a stream originates and due to its elevation it drains out or it radiates out in a different direction, diverge out in a different direction. So when any river originating from a higher elevated area, which is not a snow-capped area, but it radiates out in a different direction, that type of pattern is termed as radial pattern. Now it is best developed on the slopes of a young unbreached domal structure or of a volcanic cone. Young unbreached means just have been developed due to volcanic eruptions, and from there only the underground water emerged out and give the emergence or give the origin to a river. So unbreached means that is what we can say, that is not a very it is a just a broken part. It's not a constructed or it's not a entire continuous stretch. It is a broken part due to that volcanic eruption. So unbreached domal structure, dome like structure, when a stream originates and radiates out in a different direction, this gives a pattern that is termed as radial pattern. And the best example, one of the best example is Narmada obviously, and the other rivers that originate from Amarkantak hills and gives the best example for this type of pattern is Son and Mahanadi. So this is all about today's class. I discussed about the important keywords of the chapter and the drainage patterns of this chapter. Now there are some pictures related to the drainage pattern. Just see the structure of the drainage pattern. You can see this is the drainage pattern that shows a branch-like structure, that is dendritic pattern. You can see this is basically here you can see it is being divided into rectangular blocks. Here is a rectangle block, here is a rectangle block. So this indicates the rectangular pattern. Even it is we can say the streams are meeting at a right angle perpendicular to the main stream. This also gives the that is a trellis pattern. Now just see, it's a volcanic domal unbreached structure, and this from here when the river originate and it's radiate out in different directions. See just this part, it is a radial pattern. And another one here, the trellis pattern which is there, it develops in the weak areas where we are having alternate hard structure and alternate soft structure. So the soft structures are easily, or the resistant rocks are the one which cannot be eroded, but the valleys which can be cut, that is the soft rocks, and there the streams joins the main streams, that is the river joins the small tributaries, joins the main stream. This is termed as trellis pattern. So these are the four pictures that has been there to show the four drainage patterns. Now one more thing, here okay, I'm going to proceed with this description when I'm going to proceed with the drainage system of India. If you are having any doubt related to today's class, just mention it in the comment section, and thank you for following the class.